Jong boere is die toekoms en hulle is dikwels die wat heel voortrek wanneer ontwikkeling en innovasie ter sprake is. Vanoggend gesels ons met 'n uitstekende voorbeeld hiervan, José Goncalves, Agri Gauteng Young Boer vir 2021. Daarna werp Boetie Kirchner van Jagters lig op die organisasie se werk om aasvoëlpopulasies in Suid-Afrika te beskerm. Vir nou, oor na Lise vir die nuus, bly ingeskakel.
Elanco, we are driven by our vision of food and companionship, enriching life.
Welkom by vandag se nuus. 'n Wêreldrekordprys is onlangs vir 'n boerbokram uit die Noord-Kaap gehaal. Maserati, die kampioen van vanjaar se wêreldskou in Bloemfontein, is vir R500 000 uit die hand uitverkoop. Die ram is deur Lucas Burger van Griekwastad geteel en verkoop. Lucas het ook die vorige hoogste prys van R450 000 vir 'n boerbokram gehaal. Maserati is deur Salmon van Huisteen Boergouts en Hubert Horn Boergoutstad, ook bekend as Extreme Genetics, gekoop. Agri's chief economist Wandile Sihlobo has been appointed as senior lecturer in extraordinary agricultural economics at Stellenbosch University for a period of 3 years. This category of appointment was created to recognize individuals for their expertise and eminence in their profession. Sihlobo's primary duties will, however, remain that of chief economist at Agbiz. This also means that he will be publishing academic research under the auspices of both the department and Agbiz. And the Stellenbosch winery Kleine Zaltse was crowned Best Producer at the recent Ammonum Cup Classic Challenge. This year, the challenge celebrates its 20th anniversary as the country's foremost wine competition, committed exclusively to honouring Cup Classic wines. The Kleine Zaltse Vintage Brut MCC 2015 achieved top honours in a record line-up of 135 entries and reigns supreme in the category for Best Brut Cup Classic. And on that high note, that's today's news. One of the highlights on the agricultural calendar every year is the announcement of the different provincial young farmers of the year. Now, we've had quite a few on Farm TV via Zoom, but for the first time this morning in studio, I'd like to welcome the 2021 Agri Gauteng Young Farmer of the Year. José Goncalves, welcome.
Thank you.
Yes, and congratulations.
Oh, thank you. Thanks.
Yes. Firstly, give us some background on you and how you got into farming.
Well, obviously the farm, it's a family farm, but my intentions weren't always to farm. So, yeah, a short background of what I did was, obviously I went to school. I used to work holidays on the farm, but that was basically the only job I ever worked or had working experience in. And then obviously when I got into high school, starting to choose a career, starting to make a little bit of finer decisions, then I decided that agriculture maybe wasn't for me and ventured off into the financial world and started studying actuary at the University of Johannesburg. I studied 8 months. I did reasonably well. I didn't fail anything, but I didn't enjoy it. Obviously chose it for the wrong reasons. When you're in school, only really thing you think of is making money and not doing something good. So I decided to rather join the family business and try and innovate and change things and, try and make a difference, because farming can be very repetitive and especially trying to innovate is very difficult. So that was my major goal was to try and bring some changes to what we were currently doing on the family practice. And yeah, that's basically my short story. And on the farm now, we currently vegetable farmers. So we plant crops like cabbage, lettuce, carrots, beetroot, leeks, gem squash. Recently, the past 3 seasons, we started a pepper farm. So we plant peppers under protection now, under net houses. That was something that I started, but we did it as a business. So it was my intervention, but everybody in the business was involved in that sense. And then in the beginning of this year, I started a fish farm. So we're doing Pangasius is the species that we are farming. It's still a small project, but we are gathering a lot of good information from it. So we're working closely with the University of Pretoria and Onderstepoort Veterinary Hospital with the assistance of Dr. Gillian Taylor. She's the aquatic vet specialist that comes and do testing at the farm every 6 weeks just to screen for disease, to make sure that the fish are in good health. And then something that most recently that I started was the chickens. So I've got a few chickens that we are using for egg production. So produce some eggs every day fresh. It's not a large scale, but it's 2,400 chickens, and I plan to increase it little by little as we go. That's
why so much diversity. Do you believe in diversity?
Yeah, I do, because I think, if you get your head stuck in one position, or if you, how can I say, like a train, you're on the same tracks, you never divert off into a different business or a different approach, you somehow make yourself lazy in the way you think. So being involved in agriculture, but in different sectors of agriculture, makes you just, I think, to think a little bit differently to a general, to the general Joe. You have a little bit of a different approach. And for us, my main focus on diversity was because of space. Where we are, we farm basically in the middle of town. So we don't...
Where exactly?
Boksburg. So it's Boksburg-Germiston border. So it's not, how can I say, your general farming town. Obviously, it's been built up around over the years. Residential's really pulling in close to us. So, we don't have the option to just go and buy or rent more land to expand our outdoor production. So we really have to start thinking, if you still want to farm, what do you have to do to carry on farming? So that was my whole thing was, every farmer is worried about his yield per hectare. For me, it started becoming a thing about every square meter that we had, what could we do with it to, make it a viable business, or just utilizing your footprint more efficiently.
Where and how do you gain your knowledge when you start something new?
So I think, I think the internet is a good start for everybody. Over the years, I think I've just maybe refined where I go and look for information, because there's a lot of information on the internet, but where to find good information is the other thing. And also just gauging with people, that have knowledge. So if you've got a problem, phoning up, the university, wanting to speak to somebody that, has expertise in this field, or you just phone around. It's all about networking. I don't know how to explain it, but over the years I've been able to network with a lot of different people, build good contacts, and that's where I try and get my information from.
Now, you're a very young man. You're only 24 years old compared to the other young farmers. Some of them are like very close to 40 and one is over 40 already. What would you say is the key practice that contributes to your success?
I think it's just, about being, I think, a little bit, I wouldn't say different, because every farming practice has its, how can I say, its standpoints where that person or that farmer stands out. So, it's very difficult to judge every farmer as an individual because everybody's doing their own thing. For me, it's just about, how I try and gauge my success is where I see where I started and where I am now. That's where I try and gauge my success. And also, for me, someone asked me a question once, like, what do you really need to farm? for me, I just said to them, I answered maybe too simply, but I said all you need is people, soil and water. Maybe the answer is a little bit too simple, but for me, the other important thing is work relationships with, especially your staff. Because in our sector of farming, very reliant on human resources. So for me, my staff is my number one resource on the farm. Because without them, the practice is just not going to happen. It's impossible for one person to say that I've done this. In actual fact, it's a joint effort with everybody on the farm that has led to the success now. So that's how I'd like to gauge my success. Is that basically try and lead a team to do something.
Well, we've still got the final judging coming up for the Young Farmer of the Year in South Africa. But what have you learned up to now from the competition, in conclusion?
Up until now, it's been interesting. I think I've made a lot of good relationships, met a lot of people. It's just different, to get involved in something like this and obviously meet a lot of people that are farming, completely differently to how I am and how my family is. So it's just interesting to network with those people. You open up your mind. I think that's the most valuable thing about this competition is networking, making relationships, and building a community amongst the young farmers as well. Because somehow in agriculture, it's almost like every man for himself. There's no real unity between farmers. Where if you go and look at the rest of the world, they've got associations, committees, everybody supports each other. It's, completely different. So I think this is very good to get young farmers involved and proactive and to help each other. Because at the end of the day, it's impossible to do things on your own.
José, good luck with the final round. And we trust we'll see you at the finals as well. Farm TV will be there.
Okay, no, thanks.
The 2021 Gauteng Young Farmer of the Year.
Voermol is vir meer as 55 jaar al 'n baanbreker in die veevoerbedryf. Ons is trots op die pad wat ons gestap het, asook die vennootskappe wat ons met landboubesighede en boere reg oor Suid-Afrika gesmee het. Die voermol verhaal is gegrond op die wetenskap, tesame met 'n ontwrikbare benadering tot gehalte. Ons ontwikkel voortdurend innoverende nuwe produkte wat ons bestaande reeks van melasse-gebaseerde aanvullings komplementeer. Sodoende verseker ons dat die genetiese potensiaal van herkouerdiere keer op keer maksimaal ontgin word. Ons hoogs ervare en kundige tegniese en verkoopspan word geken aan hulle betroubare vennootskappe met kliënte. Hierdie span lewer kundige advies wat die produksie en winsgewendheid van boerderybesighede verbeter deur middel van ons wêreldklas produkte. Soos wat ons groei en ontwikkel, onderneem ons om vol te hou met die lewering van kwaliteitprodukte en dienste aan ons bedryf en om verbeterings voorop te stel in alles wat ons doen. Dankie vir u volgehoue vriendskap, loyaliteit en ondersteuning. Kom ons werk saam aan 'n toekoms wat blink en volhoubaar is. Wat die natuur kort, sal voermol voorsien.
Ek wil vandag 'n bietjie weer kyk na soja. En baie interessant is die sojaprys het onder enorme druk gekom. Hiervan amper by die R8.000 geval na 7.300 in 'n kwessie van 'n paar sessies. Maar dit lyk nou vir my asof die sojaprys stadig maar seker wil kop opval. Want daar's 'n laagtepunt. Hy was hier rondom 7.351, maar kyk wat het gebeur. Toe die prys opgehardloop het, het hy al die pad teruggekom en hy het weer daai 7.351 vlakke gaan toets. En wat sien ek hierso? Ek sien hier 'n pragtige hamerkers. 'n Hamerkers sê baie keer vir jou die prys kap sy laagtepunt uit, so hy maak reg om herstel. En wat gebeur? Dan kry jy 'n klein maagopstopperkersie, onsekerheid en dan skielik kry hierdie twee pragtige groen kersse wat sê die boere kom in en hulle koop die produk. So wat hierdie grafiek vir my sê, is dat die daling in die sojaprys is dalk so 'n bietjie iets van die verlede, dat die dalings wil omdraai na 'n bietjie 'n loopie. En wat kry ons hier? Ons sien hierso daar's die tendenslyn. Daai tendenslyn wat 'n weerstand was, het nou omgedraai in 'n positief en dit beteken die tendens wil nou opdraai. So vir boere wat wil soja verkoop, ek sal dit nie nou doen nie, ek sal 'n bietjie die sojas vashou en as jy nou die momentum wil jaag en jy koop, gebruik dan hierdie vlakkie as jou keerverlies en jou keerverlies gaan wees. Wat is 'n keerverlies? Dis maar 'n plekkie waar jy weet jy is verkeerd. R7.300, hy gaan vir jou 'n bietjie beter ene dalk gee, dat hy nie so hoog is nie, R7.356 en as hy lekker aan die gang kom, dan is die momentum na bo kry en dan kan die prys daai kersie, daardie venster daar toemaak en dalk selfs daai ene, maar ons tyd is uit en ons hoop die boere kry daai lekker loopie waarvoor hulle wag, want baie boere wat soja geplant het, is moedeloos geweest. Hulle het gedink hulle prys gaan net daal. Al besoek gerus ons webtuiste www.fransdeklerk.com vir meer inligting en ons gesels weer.
For over 55 years, Voermol has been a pioneering force in the animal feeds industry. We are proud of the journey we have travelled and the partnerships we have forged with our agribusinesses and farmers across Southern Africa. Voermol's scientific endeavours and approach to quality are at the root of our story. We continue to develop innovative new products that complement our existing range of molasses-based supplements in order to maximize the genetic potential of ruminant animals time and time again. Our highly experienced and knowledgeable sales team have developed trusted partnerships with our customers and continue to provide expert advice to improve the production and profitability of farming enterprises through our range of world-class products. As we evolve, we undertake to continue delivering ongoing quality products and service to our industry and to champion improvements in everything we do. Thank you for the continued friendship, loyalty and support. Let's work together to create a future that is bright and sustainable. What nature lacks, Voermol will provide.
Die kollig val tans, as ek dit so kan stel, ernstig op die bewaring van ons aasvoëls in Suid-Afrika en ons het goed gedink om ook SA Jagters uit te nooi na die Plaas TV ateljee om met ons hieroor te gesels en ook hulle rol wat die bewaring van aasvoëls betref vir ons duidelik te stipuleer. Ons verwelkom graag vir Boetie Kirchner, hy is van SA Jagters. Baie dankie dat jy vandag by ons aangesluit het.
Daar's hy, dankie Lise, en baie dankie vir die geleentheid om hier te wees.
Wie is SA Jagters?
SA Jagters is 'n ledeorganisasie wat in 1949 gestig is deur 50 lede. Ons is het ons 'n ledetal van so 44,000 lede, wat bestaan uit 82 takke wat opgedeel is in 15 streke landwyd en dan ons hoofkantoor is hier in Pretoria.
Waarom val die kollig tans op die bewaring van aasvoëls?
Die 6 aasvoëlspesies wat in Suid-Afrika voorkom, se getalle is almal aan die afneem en van hulle staar selfs uitwissing in die gesig en dit wek groot kommer by bewaringskundiges.
Boetie, wat is die hoofredes vir die drastiese afname?
Daar's basies 3 hoofkategorieë van bedreiging vir die aasvoëls. Die eerste een is die doelbewuste vergiftiging van aasvoëls vir hulle liggaamsdele vir medisyne doeleindes, tradisionele medisyne en dan ook die renosterstropers vergiftig die karkasse sodat die aasvoëls nie die karkasse vir die veldwagters uitwys nie. Dan is daar sekondêre vergiftiging wat veroorsaak word deur veeartsenymiddels wat in sekere karkasse voorkom wat vir die diere uitgesit word, as ook loodfragmente. En dan die laaste groot probleem vir aasvoëls is die oorhoofse kragdrade en wat hulle vasvlieg en dan hulle vlerke breek 'n aasvoël wat nie kan vlieg nie, kan nie eet nie en sterf as gevolg daarvan.
Boetie, nou ek verneem SA Jagters het 'n paar inisiatiewe om die aasvoëlbewaring aan die gang te kry. Wat het julle? Deel 'n paar met ons.
Die hoofeen is ons tak op Lichtenburg wat al vir verskeie jare Aasvoël-restaurant verantwoordelik bedryf. Nou verantwoordelik bedryf beteken hulle gee vir hulle skoon water om te bad, om te drink en dan hulle verseker dat die karkasse wat hulle vir die aasvoëls uitsit om te eet, dan veilig is vir die aasvoëls. Die geleentheid dien dan ook as 'n inligtingseentrum vir die jeug en vir van die plaaslike gemeenskappe.
En hoe betrek SA Jagters ander gemeenskappe by aasvoëlbewaring?
Ja, ons het onlangs die Aasvoël-erfenis inisiatief geloods en dit is 'n inisiatief wat oop is vir alle grondeienaars op wie se eiendom aasvoëls voorkom, broei, eet, water drink, bad ensovoorts. Hulle kan gerus ons kantore in Pretoria skakel vir meer inligting om betrokke te raak by die inisiatief, maar dit het ten doel om aasvoëls deur die land bewusmaking vir die grondeienaars en ook vir die publiek te bevorder.
Nou ja, ons gesels met SA Jagters oor hulle rol by die bewaring van ons aasvoëls. Moenie weggaan nie, ons is net nou terug.
AGT Foods Africa, from producer to the world.
Ons gesels vanoggend met Boetie Kirchner van SA Jagters oor die bewaring van ons aasvoëls en hulle rol daarbey. Boetie, as 'n jagorganisasie wat hom beywer vir bewaring, wat doen SA Jagters om die blootstelling van aasvoëls aan loodkernammunisie te bekamp? Want ek dink dit is nogal belangrik.
Ja, nee, dit is 'n baie belangrike onderwerp. SA Jagters vorm dan ook deel van die nasionale loodtaakspan, wat homself beywer vir die vermindering van blootstelling van alle diere aan lood, onder andere die aasvoëls met loodfragmente afkomstig van karkasse en dan deurlopend tot by die krokodille wat visvangsinkers inkry en daardeur bedreig word. So ons is aktief betrokke om te help met inisiatiewe om die blootstelling aan lood aan die natuurlewe te bekamp.
Is SA Jagters betrokke by enige nasionale projekte?
Ja, SA Jagters vorm dan ook deel van die nasionale aasvoël-taakspan, wat deur die departement van omgewingsake tot stand gebring is en dit word verteenwoordig deur 'n klomp bewaringsdeskundiges.
Hoe kan 'n gewone lid van die publiek bydra tot aasvoëlbewaring?
Ja, bewusmaking speel al 'n groot rol. As die mense bewus is van die probleem, dan kan hulle iets daaraan doen. Hulle is welkom om ook op ons webtuiste www.sahunters.co.za te gaan kyk vir meer inligting oor al ons bewaringsprojekte. En dan hulle kan ook finansiële bydrae maak in ons bewaringsfonds in die Tanjari Trust, wat dan vir aasvoëlbewaring aangewend sal word.
Boetie, baie dankie en ons is baie bly julle is deel van hierdie projek. Ek dink dit is vir julle ook en julle lede ook baie belangrik.
Ja, nee, dit is absoluut vir ons baie belangrik, want ons moet 'n beter natuurerfenis nalaat as wat ons gekry het.
Ja, en so sê Boetie Kirchner van SA Jagters, so wees definitief 'n lid van hierdie bewaringsprojek.
Dinner time. Not without the farm. Not without water. fertile ground or machines to plow it. Not without safekeeping. Distribution. And a top-up every now and then. Not without the wholesaler, the retailer, or the bank that backs them all. Dinner time. Not without business. Standard Bank. It can be.